Hello there, Vanagon addicts. It's Ken Wilford here at Vanagon. I just wanted to give you guys a little update on what's going on with the Jungle Vanagon. So at the moment, you can see our engine is been stripped down partially and cleaned, and that is really because we're in the middle of a top secret project on that. Some of you will see some things in here that might give away what the project is, but I'm not going to tell you right now. But I will show you how clean that we got everything. My friend Jerry is, an official cleanologist, and so he has all kinds of secrets to cleaning things. This case is super clean. These intake things actually weren't cleaned. They're actually nice ones that I painted, but, I could have lied and told you they were clean. So he cleaned everything. We cleaned the whole bay. And you can see there's some rust back here in the engine bay. So I got to clean that, treat it, paint it, so the engine bay is looking good again because, why not? It's all about presentation. So, but I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about, so the engine is running still good, but we're doing something with it. So that's why I'm not running it for you right now. But I wanted to kind of go over the things that we found that once this car had been sitting for 10 years, what things did we find? So we got the engine running, but then the car wouldn't move, okay? We found that all of the brakes, like the rear brakes or front brakes, were frozen to different degrees. The rear ones, I had stupidly left the emergency brake on. Why I did that on a flat ground is beyond me. It's a habit with me to put it on. And, that was causing the rear brakes to completely be frozen. So, quick tip, if you park a car for any length of time, do not leave the e-brakes on, okay? Stupid idea. They will seize and you will have a hard time getting it to move. So that was fixed just by jacking it up and, putting a big bolt or big wrench on the middle thing and kind of working it back and forth after taking the e-brake off. Got that freed up. The front ones, I jacked them up. Wasn't that bad. Moved them back and forth and got them freed up. Okay, so then the wheels would actually turn. Okay, but we were still having a problem getting it to move. It was in a sinkhole back there. It had sank down in the ground. The tires was partially flat. We pumped them up. We got it out of the holes. It still didn't really want to move. And, I didn't have any brakes either. So we found out the next thing we found, besides the wheels not wanting to turn, is the brakes not wanting to brake. Okay, so I had taken the instrument cluster out for testing purposes or something back in the day. I did put a cover over this, but it wasn't enough apparently to save. The brake reservoir right here has gotten like massive sun damage. Okay, this plastic is not made to be exposed to the sun for any length of time whatsoever. So again, if you're storing a van and you're taking this off to like sell the cluster or something, but you care about stuff, definitely cover this because it will get all cracked and go on you. Okay, so I have to replace this. I most likely will have to replace the brake master cylinder also, just because sitting all that time, you actually get water building up in the system, and that's no bueno. Then we, of course, had our accelerator cable be frozen, the pedal separated from the floor. Okay, that was no good. So that's another issue we had. Then after we got some of this stuff fixed, and we were just going to try to move it and get it out of the spot, okay, and I've got the tires pumped up and got it all ready to move out of the spot, and it was running pretty good. Then it stopped running good, and it wouldn't run, and it acted like, to me, it acted like it was running out of gas. So we did some testing, and I went down here. I'm like, it's got to be, gas supply issue. So I replaced the filter. That didn't do anything. Oh my gosh, it went to zoom over that. And so finally, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to pull this big line on the gas tank and just see how much flow I'm getting out of the gas tank. Because the gas tank actually looks original. It's kind of beat up looking. So here's what happened. I went to undo this. I took the clamp off. And I went to take this line off, and the line had cracked and broken to the point where when I just barely touched it, it snapped off like a tree branch. And then I was like, oh no, it's all this gas is coming out, and pouring it right at my face, and got a whole face full of gas. And yeah, that made my day. And I didn't have any glasses on, or nothing like that to deflect it. So I got 2 eyes full of gasoline in my face. First time it's happened in 25 years. And it was not fun. I should have had safety goggles on, safety glasses on, but I didn't because I'm stupid. Okay, so definitely, wear safety glasses. So what was actually happening, because this line was so hard, it actually cracked on the top. It was still hooked up, and you could smell like a little tiny smell of gas. So that crack on the top of that hose, where you couldn't see it and it wasn't dripping or anything, was allowing air to get sucked in whenever you turn the pump on. And it was mostly pumping air back to the engine. And it was really like we were scratching our heads like, what is happening right now? Because it was running, right, at first. Then all of a sudden it'll try to start and would run for like a few seconds and then just cut off. And so finally, after doing this troubleshooting and tracing it down to the fact that we were getting basically pumping air, you could see bubbles and things. We hooked the line up to this and was kind of like pumping fuel up to the engine, getting a bunch of air. That was the problem. So we wound up replacing that one hose right there. That fixed all of our drivability issues as far as running it. Then my friend Jerry sat back here and just kind of revved it a little bit when I had it in gear, and that let it move. Okay, but besides the one brake issue we have, which is the master cylinder, reservoir is bad and leaking like crazy. And you can see I actually got rid of all the tree branches and things that were growing through the front grill here. But under here, which I haven't gotten into yet, we've got a pretty massive brake leak here in the middle. It's probably the main brake line that goes from the front to the back. That's usually what likes to rust out. So again, sitting for 10 years, you really are going to be saying, all right, I'm going to replace every single brake line on this car because it's all suspect. It's all rusted to some degree, and you only need a little tiny, pinhole to basically lose all your brakes. So that's going to get replaced. All new brake lines, all new brake hoses, all new rear wheel cylinders, and new brake shoes and drums and everything, because it's all rusted garbage as far as I'm concerned. In the front here, we're going to have new rebuilt calipers, new rotors and new pads, because again, it's all garbage. I mean, I don't want to have to get this thing running, driving, and then like a week later the calipers are dragging and that stuff. I don't want that. Okay. Then another thing, these tires were not bad. They're not super old, but they're 10 years something old. They're all gonna have to be replaced. Okay. Some of them have dry rot, obviously, and some of them don't, but they're trash. Okay, because of age. Another issue, power steering. I noticed the reservoir was pretty much empty. When Jerry was cleaning the engine bay, he sprayed water on these lines and they started leaking. So yeah, they're bad also. Gonna have to replace the power steering lines. And the list goes on and on. So it kind of reinforces my mantra on Vanagons, which is use it or lose it. Okay, if you use it, you're gonna use it and your mileage and whatever, and then you're going to have to replace things and repair things and restore things because of mileage and you're using it. Okay, but if you just don't use it and you let it sit, guess what? You're going to have to replace things and redo things, because sitting will ruin stuff. Okay, so that's what we found so far. Like, share, subscribe. And just let me know if there's anything in particular you want to take a look at. But I mean, we're going to be going through this car. We're basically restoring it to be able to be usable. I'm thinking about redoing the body also, because that's kind of why I parked it. So you can see underneath of the side cladding is all kinds of rust. It was like this when I parked it, to be fair. This is not a new development. It's kind of why I parked it. I had been driving it in the wintertime and in the summertime in New Jersey all year round. Lots of winters with, you know, icy roads and salt. And, you know, these side cladding things, they just cover that all up. And, you know, that was the idea. It's like it passes the all good test. But then when your mount area for the front section of the cladding starts basically just rusting so bad that it's coming loose from the car, you pretty much know something's going on at that point. Okay, so anyway, so this is our plan for this car. Get it up to a point of reliability. Get it up to a point where I can possibly take it to Maaco and get it repainted and make it look nice. And then, you know, we'll either keep using it. We're going to be using it as a test vehicle for this project we're doing. And then once we're done with that project, I may sell it. Okay, so that's what's going on with this van as of right now. Hope you're enjoying these videos. Please like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next one.